to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Eccles.
And we are back once again into Saturday evening, and we are tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And joining me tonight is Mr. the Cajun Cowboy.
Still coughing.
Still hacking, still coughing. We got Mr. Tarver with us tonight.
Horrifying, man. I went to work today, and people were sick everywhere. I'm like, oh, my God. Come home, and people were getting sick. I'm like, you don't y'all even dare start this. I can't survive it again.
That's the good thing with being unemployed. I only go out in the mornings when no one's out, and I do a little running, and I go home, and I've been away from the coronavirus.
It's coming to you.
And I'm okay with that.
You know what I saw about that? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, you're fine.
Kind of hijacked right from the introduction.
We kind of forgot he was here, but
oh yeah, I'm here. For once.
What did they have? 800 people die from the Wuhan virus so far?
Something like that. I don't know.
Woohoo! Wuhan.
What is it? 12,000 have died from the flu in the United States alone this year.
But no one cares.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I saw a little cartoon the other day, and it was two people like in China. It was like and they're packing this Amazon box, and the one guy leans over and coughs in it, and they tape it up.
Yeah,
they said,
they were saying don't use your
don't
pop the
bubble wrap
because he might have
the airs from China.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Mark is joining us today. How you doing, sir?
Good. I'm finally back. I made it.
You did
for once.
You were a lost soul for quite a while.
I found my way back.
we knew you would. We were going to send out we're going to wait another few months and send out a search party.
Right. I'm back on the PDPC, people.
There you go. Ooh, look at that. It's fancy. So I've been meaning to stop by and visit Mark at the store, but I drive by the store and I don't see his truck there. And I was like, man, God, did they fire him or something?
Nope, not there anymore. I got a new truck.
He got a new truck. He didn't bother to tell anyone. Yeah. So I couldn't stop by and visit you. He probably thought I was pissed off at him or something.
No, I just figured you were busy, so.
Busy doing what?
Running.
I do that early in the morning.
You just felt like running, so
I do actually.
Keep going.
I do actually. Running. So, how you guys been?
I've been pretty swell. In the words of Leave It to Beaver, swell. Yeah.
It's time to bullshit now.
Okay.
It's been slow. It's been slow with the store.
No, actually. So, truth be told, we're actually talking to the
and please
corporate guy.
Tell the truth.
Corporate guy, he said we're about 48.
Still works
Yeah. No, our guy up in corporate said we're about 48% ahead of where we were last year.
So you guys still like the number one store?
Oh yeah, still number one. Well, I mean, we were the number one store for last year. Sold over 1,200 guns. I mean,
oh wow.
I don't know what our final numbers were, but we did pretty well. Consistently too. We're doing it pretty consistent.
Do you have a Ruger 5.7?
Not right now. We did have one come in, made it about 2 hours, and it was out. So.
You're supposed to hide that in the back and call Tarver.
I didn't know you.
Did you play with it?
I did. I actually like it.
Okay.
I think it's better built than the FN is.
He stood in the back room in the dark and he played with it.
So technically, I mean, technically we have one there. He doesn't
show up anymore.
Technically, we still have one, but it's not ours. It's the NRA banquet, Friends of the NRA banquet thing. But you know,
are people still friends with the NRA?
I don't know. Apparently, because we get a
free gun, obviously.
We get a lot of guns in for them.
So what did you think of it?
I think it's a lot better feeling. I think the slide's a little nicer. It's not so plasticky.
Yeah,
picked it up. Oh, what a feeling.
Yeah.
How's the trigger?
I don't think I took the trigger on it.
What?
Yeah. That's
what you do.
I was intrigued by the way the barrel is on it. It's weird. Like the whole barrel is essentially the feed ramp. It's weird. Like they don't have like a traditional feed ramp. It's like the whole barrel is tapered. It's
really
weird. Yeah.
How is the grip? Is one thing I was
worried
worried
about.
The grip
I think it's not big and bulky like the FN.
Okay.
It's contoured better. It just feels better. I think
metal magazines, people.
Yeah.
So you didn't pick it up and tickle the trigger? No tickling of the trigger.
No, I don't think I
That's
messed with
what
the
gun
trigger.
guys do.
I
They
did mess
tickle
with
trigger.
I messed with the Glock 44, which Philip just brought up.
Oh yes, that was coming up because
I messed with that and
Womp, womp, womp.
piece of crap, huh?
Yeah, I don't like it.
So we talked about this. We talked about Glock's coming out with this 22. This shit better be good.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
It better
it's
be
supposed
good.
to be. It's supposed to be a training gun for the Glock 19. It has
How
the
can
same
you
size and everything. Really light.
Are they trying to tell us that the Glock 19 is gonna start jamming up and stuff too? I mean,
No, I doubt it.
we're training.
Man, so here's the thing: is why not? If there's supposed to be a
it's a
training gun,
gunsmith trainer.
make it the same weight.
It's a gunsmith trainer.
Yeah, that's what it is. Make it the same weight. Make it the same amount of rounds. I mean, stuff like that. This thing has nothing like that, and it's just a plastic mess. Is all it is. So
I love it. Glock
That's their new logo. Their new
Super-
slogan.
It's a plastic
super.
mess.
The trigger's horrible.
Really?
But which is funny because I had a guy that bought one, and I hope he doesn't watch this podcast or listen to us or anything. He loved it. He said it's the best Glock trigger ever, and I was like, no.
I wonder if the trigger on my Sims G19s are better.
I'd be willing to bet they are.
I should have grabbed them before the show and we could have checked it out.
You just want to shoot me. That's what you want.
No, we'll talk. We're gonna talk about that. I got like a hole through my sweatshirt. Like broke my skin the other day with one of them suckers.
Wow.
Yeah, I still got the scab. You want to see it?
Because you get too close.
That's exactly right. So there's lots of videos.
At least you didn't shoot yourself in the testicles.
It recommends a cup. I didn't have one. I looked at Dean and said, "You keep it between here and here."
Oh, he shot.
He didn't tell you to go to Dick's and get one?
No. Oh, it's gonna be one of those evenings.
I'm sure.
So there's videos of the G44
Yeah, exploding,
cracking, all
pieces
kinds of
flying out of
freaking
it.
problems. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I don't know, but it's loud.
Yeah. So how many of those have you sold?
Quite a few.
I was in there the other day. I should have actually seen, if you guys had one, I should have picked it up and looked at it, but I was just sitting there talking to Jerry.
There's one sitting there now. I think we've sold at least, I don't know, I want to say 5 or 6 maybe. So
I heard they're big old pieces of caca.
well,
That's what I heard.
I'm not a big fan, but I mean, I can understand people want them. I mean, being a Glock
It's a
fan
Glock.
myself,
It's a Glock, so people are going to freaking buy it, but
Because
it's
it's a
not
Glock, yeah.
functioning. Your Taurus TX22 functioned better. It sounds like.
yeah,
And what's
still
the price,
running.
What's the price difference on those two?
Yeah, what's the Glock
so-
selling for?
What is it? $349
That's what the Glock's selling for.
Yeah.
What's the Taurus selling for?
to what do we got it down to now? I think we got it down to like $249 on some models. Some
$100
colors, yeah.
$100 and a way better gun.
Way better gun. Taurus TX22.
I've got some people inquiring about some kids classes, so I actually might be coming to see you because I need one of those Tauruses. I think I need
You
to.
can borrow mine.
I might borrow yours.
Okay, well, I'll just borrow that. We'll shoot it to pieces and send it back to
Might
you.
as well put it through the paces.
Well, I want to buy one sooner or later, but the wife's telling me I gotta watch my money.
Well,
Gotta watch the dollar.
financial advisor, you mean?
My financial advisor, my boss, you name it.
Yep.
So, what else have you seen coming out of the SHOT Show? Anything? Is people asking for anything that's cool? I mean,
I don't know. There's some stuff that was just out of this world. I mean, just ridiculous, I think. But
Saw that alien? Good grief.
yeah, that alien is
Like
oh my
5.
okay,
gosh.
whoa, fill me
Thing
in.
is
I didn't
weird.
see that crap.
Oh, yeah, they've been talking about it for a while.
I missed
What
it.
is it, $5,000?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's
I
cool.
want it.
It looks cool.
I want it.
So, what about the What? We'll explain the alien. I guess explain it. I don't know what it is.
I don't know much about it. I saw a picture of it. I saw a little write-up thing on
Rifle,
Facebook.
handgun?
No, it's a handgun.
Handgun.
Really?
It's
9
kind of
millimeter.
an odd-looking deal. It looks almost like it's a futuristic-looking gun.
Oh, I think I saw that hanging on the freak. What caliber is it?
9mm.
9 mil. So did you guys see? And I know we talked about it once before. That thing coming out of Palmetto State Armory. Did you see that one?
I don't know. Maybe
It's like $300. They're calling it the Glock Killer.
Yeah, they call
everything has a Glock.
Yeah, but I mean, but what it is it's the polymer 80. It's a polymer 80 lower.
Oh, okay.
And then everything's like super interchangeable. Like you can like it's like the Lego of the gun world or something.
I think they should send us one so we can check it out.
Well, it should. I think, they should.
I think we should contact Alien and get one of those.
I think we should get a PD.
So look, we're going to review this for the podcast.
The Patriot Defense 10.
The Patriot Defense 10. That's never is going to happen.
Yeah.
So
Now, if you look at that Alien, it's weird because the slide is above the barrel. The top of the handgun doesn't move at all. So you put your red dot on there. None of that moves. The action down here, the slide comes back, and the barrel is underneath that. So the barrel's right here in your hand. It's down low.
So you got a real good bore axis.
Real
Yeah.
low.
Well, it's kind of like the Rhino and the revolver.
Yeah,
Right.
Same.
Yeah, same concept.
So I did shoot a gun the other day. It was a
$5,000.
it was, get this. So and you know what? I'm going to say, the people building, people like to build their guns now. People can get these polymer 80 lowers and they can build their gun. This guy built one. It's a G19, so it's a Glock. Did I show you the pictures of that one? Yeah. So the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But I will tell you, this guy is as crazy and wild as this gun looks. And I'm going to show a picture. I put it on Facebook. That's the Alien.
That's the Alien.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. But it's Did you see the picture of this gun right here? The one I shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
the custom piece,
I will say though that as crazy as that gun looks, as wild as the color, that thing shoots like a son of a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, he spent, I don't even know how many thousands of dollars. He's got all the
trick pieces.
The trick pieces. It's a smooth shooter. It's a little nutty looking, but it's a shooter, man. It's a shooter and a half, I tell you.
It's like selling purple guns. Who cares what it looks like as long as it shoots?
As long as it goes bang.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's not a new gun, but I saw this come out. I think Ruger came out with the LC 22, didn't they?
It's a LCP2 in a 22. Yeah, we have one of those too.
So that's a new one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same size as the 380.
How does that trigger feel?
It's the same as the 380, and it's not a bad. I mean, that LCP2 trigger is much more improved than the original LCP.
Okay.
And it's not a bad. It's an internal hammer type setup. So
I wonder how long it'll be till I start seeing one of those come through class.
We haven't sold one yet, so we've got them. I just
the 22 rounds bigger than the gun.
Yeah, I mean it's a tiny little gun. It's one of those, people are going to buy it because it's small, and doesn't mean it's going to shoot any better. But
it'll only shoot as good as the shooter.
Yeah.
The problem with these 22 trainers is, it works good and you get familiar and comfortable with the gun, but when you got more, your grip gets set for that 22, and when you get even a little bit more, you got to spend time with the caliber you're gonna carry.
Well, and if you're using that G44, you get to learn how to do malfunction drills and all kinds of crap and
duct tape. That's all you need.
Duct tape.
Toss it in the brush it and grab your other one because it's exploded in your hand.
Another gun that came out that I'm really interested in seeing is the Mossberg MC2.
Well, explain.
So the Mossberg MC1.
I actually shot.
They've already made a second one.
You know what?
They've already made a second one.
Well, I shot that in class. That's not a bad.
I think it's
shooter.
actually a pretty legit gun.
I would buy that over the Taurus G2C or whatever.
So
that's a good gun.
The MC2 is just a little larger frame, more capacity. I think they come with a 13 and a 15 round mag.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, yeah, it's a little larger capacity gun. Another one is like the G3.
Was the first one a single stack?
Yeah.
So this one's
just like a Glock 43, basically.
And this one's going to be a double stack.
I believe so. Yeah. MC2.
Have you got one in yet?
Not the MC2. We do have the new Taurus G3, which is a huge improvement over the original or the G2C.
How's the trigger?
A lot better.
Okay.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I almost got one except
totally
for the
different trigger. It's a totally different trigger.
The 2?
The 3.
No, I almost got the 2, but they had the trigger. If you don't catch it just right,
it'll a little notch in there.
It'll hang up.
I will say
that that's enough. I can't buy it.
I will say that I'm not like complimenting the trigger on the G2 at all, but it's not. It wasn't horrible.
No,
I mean, it's not great, but it's not horrible. And if a huge step up, like
did it ever hang up on you though?
No, but
I had it to where it would bite sometimes.
Yeah, there is sometimes.
Really?
Sometimes you can get it to stick, yeah.
I will say this, though. It was a big improvement over, and I know it's a different manufacturer, but a big improvement over the freaking Skies.
Oh, huge.
Oh.
But I will
huge
say
difference.
I had 2 in class, my last class, and I don't know. You know me, I'm not real good on gun lore. Be careful playing with that connection, by the way, because your things will go out.
Okay.
So, well, you know that.
This place is barely held together, man.
It really is. So I had 2 of those G2Cs in class, and one guy had to stop shooting it because like pins were starting to like freaking come out.
Oh no.
It was so like inside, by where the firing pin were. Not, it wasn't the firing pin, it was on either side. There's a long rod that started working. It was sticking out about that far. And
Wow.
he's like, "What do I do?" I was like, "You're gonna shoot one of
Stop.
my guns. Let's carry this one out to your truck."
Yeah. No, the G3 is a bigger. It's a full size. Well, I mean, it's like 4-inch barrel, but 15 and 17 round mags.
Wow.
Triggers huge improvement over the G2C.
Man, and it's still cheap.
And it's still cheap. It's like $250.
Have you sold
That's
any yet?
amazing.
Yeah, we sell a lot of them. So in fact, that might be. I mean, I have gift cards right now that are kind of burning a hole in my pocket, and I'm deciding, do I want to buy more ammo or buy another gun?
How much money you got in gift cards? Let's help you figure this out. How much money you got in gift cards?
About $210 in gift cards.
So, how much were you guys selling that Ruger 5.7 for?
$650.
Ooh, dude, why didn't you put it towards the Ruger?
Because I don't have the other stuff. Because I bought a new truck. Remember?
Well, you put those in a safe place. Is there expiration date on them?
No.
Put them in the safe place and save your freaking
Just
pennies.
wait it up. Yeah, okay, I can do that.
And then buy that Ruger. We've got to test shoot that for the podcast, and we're counting on you. I'm counting on you or Tarver.
I was gonna say Tarver probably have it before I do.
I don't know. I didn't know it was out in the street yet.
I told you they were.
Well,
Word on the street
for
is
purchase. For purchase.
Okay.
I think that they had a release date like
Legally.
for the end of January is when they released them. So
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
same with the Glock 44. That was like January 20th or something is when they were releasing them, and
Okay.
some shops had like a list going for them, and we were like, no, you just got to be here. So
There you go. Sticking it to the man.
Yeah.
Okay, since you work at the gun store and you have all this information and get to
Since you sell
test
guns,
everything
since you sell guns and chicken feed,
and know all this stuff, we have a new Red Dot fan.
oh no, God, no, not really. You obviously he doesn't listen to the podcast.
oh no.
So Todd is looking for a Red Dot.
No. Let's back this train up a little bit. So, I got my hands on a SIG P365,
Okay. The XL.
the XL,
Yeah.
with the Romeo. Is that what
Romeo?
the Romeo one on? Is it the one or two, whatever they call it? The Romeo red?
I think it's
Yeah.
new, huh?
I liked it. I didn't shoot it. I was nowhere where I could shoot it, but I enjoyed that. I mean, that was pleasurable.
I
to
do
me.
like the XL out of all the 365s.
I've shot the 365 without the red dot. It wasn't the XL, and I did enjoy it as a little gun. And I think it was because it was just perfect, but it actually had a little, it's a double stack, so it actually fit my hands better than those stupid small single stacks.
Beats the pants off of the Hellcat.
Yeah, which got #1 gun of the year.
I don't know how. I don't like that gun. I really don't.
I think they paid someone off. But anyhow, let's back up for a
Probably.
minute. We'll
I don't
talk.
know how that beat out the 365 just on sales alone.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
I'm
but
not a 365 fan either, though.
I'm thinking about not right away, but I'm thinking about purchasing that as a package with the red dot on it.
Okay.
I really am. I don't really have any explanations as to why.
So are you stuck with the Romeo series, or would you? I mean,
That's
you can venture out to the RMRs. You can get
That's where I was leaning.
the
All right,
Fast
what are you
Fire
talking
threes.
Okay, what have you? As a Romeo's no good?
No, I think SIG makes a good optic. there's other stuff out there that might be,
Better,
maybe
but as
just as good, but not as much.
oh, you think I could buy? You think I could buy the P3? Because I've never looked into red dots before.
I mean, if you get the package deal, you might as well go with it. Stick with the Romeo because it's all SIG,
Right.
And you probably get a better deal by buying it in a package.
that's kind of what I was shooting for.
But if you're going to buy them separate, I would look into like the Burris, the Fast Fire 3 or something like that.
So those Holosons are like $400.
Holosons are nice, but
Just like as much as a gun. So let me.
yeah.
What is a package? Do you know what a package runs?
We've never had a package deal come through, so I'm not sure.
Okay. So I was noticing something. So I can go out and shoot. I I can still see good enough to shoot.
Okay.
And the last eye check I had last year was good. I mean, I was like better than good. I was the best. But I noticed I was at CrossFit the other day, and you have to look across. You have to look across the gym.
Starting to get blurry.
They write the freaking workout shit on the board there, and I was like, and I had to go get a little. I kept squinting my eyes at it. I had to get one of the little boards and like
Let me get my reading glasses.
Like, yeah. And my coach is like, "What's wrong, Todd?" And I'm like, "I can't see that."
All right, so
And
you're 43-ish. Okay, so you're actually 21 with like so many years experience.
That's
the way
what.
you gotta
Yeah.
look at it.
But I think my
But the
sight's
experience
going to hell.
means that you lose your eye.
I mean,
you lose
I
your vision.
don't know. So I went and had to get a little board and write it down, and I was actually laughing when I did it because I'm thinking, and actually, there's two ladies that
This is how it began.
there's two ladies that just took my class from me like the weekend before, and they looked at me and they're like, "Don't you shoot?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." I don't know.
LASIK surgery.
I don't know for how much longer, but
Red dots
but I do. I am supposed to be able to see.
with a 6-inch glass. Big old red dot.
and a big magnifier on
Yeah,
there.
can we put a magnifier on the front of that? I have to get Rock to custom make me a holster.
Yeah, there you go.
Jeez. No, I'm not that bad yet, but I'm starting to notice it just a little bit.
Yeah.
So getting
You
That's
know.
where it starts.
so
That's where it
with that,
starts.
okay. So off the red dot
Okay.
in the 365, I get a lot of people coming in looking at wanting to see the Hellcat, and maybe or maybe not. I just pulled a 365 out as well,
And
and guess what they end up leaving with?
the 365.
Exactly.
All right, I got a question because I never shot a Hellcat.
I haven't either.
only placed them in my hand.
I squeezed the trigger.
And-
Suck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm biased against SIG. I guess I sold all my SIGs.
I am too.
but I did not. I didn't see that great of a. I mean, what got y'all's attention where y'all
Okay.
hate the Hellcat?
I love to knock on. I love to be negative.
Talk to
about
me
shit.
because
Go for it.
I put it in my hand for like a minute and I'm like,
Hellcat.
I'll take it over there.
Hellcat. I was not impressed. I like Springfield Armory. I love my XDMs.
I'm not a fan.
My XDM was a great gun. I mean, I've had good guns from them. When I picked that gun up, it felt like it was an unfinished product. It's like I had a prototype in my hand.
Well, I mean, look at it. They took stuff away from the XD. That's still it's still
Yeah.
made by HS product,
yeah.
and they just took stuff off of it
Yeah,
to make it. I
It
mean,
felt like it was unfinished. The trigger was horrible and dragged and was just nasty. And I think I would probably enjoy the G2C trigger
But
better.
you like the 365 trigger? I felt that they were about the same.
I like the 365.
The trigger?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, on the XL has the X series trigger in it. So
Yeah.
I didn't mess with the XL. I just got the two little.
Well, you got to get the XL, man.
Well, I might as well get a full size. I got a Canic.
Yeah,
I don't need a full
that's
size.
true. Yeah.
But no, I mean that's my thoughts on the Hellcat. Is I just thought it was junk. I thought it was complete junk. And yeah, there you go, Philip. 365 feels better than the Hellcat. The Hellcat feels like an unfinished product. It's almost like they were like, we got to get it out. We got to get it out. Screw it. Put it out. I mean, and unlike what they've done with the PD10, where they're getting it right. So
now here's, and I know this is a Glock thing, and I know everybody's got their opinions on Glocks, but Glock is the most accessorized pistol on the planet. So Glock does have the 43X, and then I think it's Shield Arms makes a 15 round mag for it that is actually the same size as the 10 rounder.
And shame on Glock for not coming up with that.
Exactly.
Why
But
does somebody have to come
that's
up with
Glock.
that?
well, you know what?
Glock puts the product out and lets everybody else.
Here's the thing.
They cut that stupid plastic off it and made it an all metal mag.
Does it really surprise you? Because they just came out with the G44 and they said it was going to be flawless.
Well, the G43X is better than the 44.
Well, right, but I'm just saying here, you didn't get to see the targets. I have them hanging in the other room. I'd show them. Remember those targets that I shot at? The different guns.
Quite a few targets you shot at, man. I don't
Well,
know.
no,
Oh,
the one,
yeah.
In the 43, the one I love to hate.
Mm-hmm.
Even at 50 feet, I did pretty damn good with that.
But what gun did you do better with?
The Ruger LCR.
The LC.
I held a group. I did 10 shots at like 15 feet and then 10 shots at like 30 feet. and or 25 feet, and these are static shooting. That's all it is.
With
Yeah,
no
and then-
history with the gun.
I don't see
Yeah.
any shame in that. I
And
think
then-
that's actually great.
And then 10 rounds at 50 feet.
But he's supposed to hate revolvers.
Right. When I shot that Kimber, I shot better with that Kimber K6 than I did semi-autos.
Yeah.
So
But then
Is that the new Kimber?
but then I will say I shot.
not the big one. It's the smaller one.
I also have a car, CW9, with the horrible trigger. I shot that pretty damn well too, to be honest with you. I tell you, the one that took me for a freaking rodeo ride was that Smith & Wesson Airweight 38 Special.
Oh, I bet.
Holy crap,
Yeah.
that was a monster.
Yeah, I bet.
I forgot how horrible that got. I mean, you didn't see that. You guys never saw that
I
one.
don't think so.
I'd bring him, but they're in the house. I forgot to bring them out. But I mean, it's like it starts right here and then just all over the off the cardboard. It was horrible.
You're like, we're just gonna not use that one.
no, it was freaking horrible.
By the time when you were finished, were you just trying to get the rounds out so you could be done with it? Or
Kind of, because it was hurting.
Okay.
And it's not that it bucks too much, but it just, the recoil just reverberates through that freaking air weight, and just, I freaking
It's like
hate
setting
it.
a round off in your hand.
Yeah, it's horrible.
By the way, that's the word for the day. Reverberates.
reverberate.
Reverberates. Is that like saying a verb twice?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Every time we say that, an angel gets his wings. Never mind. PD10 will. Never mind. So what have you been up to, Mr. Tarver?
Nothing, man. I've been working, man. I do the same thing all the time. Rat race. Nothing but the rat race.
He has to work hard. Mama's home.
Yeah, mom.
He works hard for the money.
Mama's visiting, and Mom will put him in his place. And I thought he was grounded tonight. I thought he was grounded, but
He's like, I am. I just snuck out.
I snuck out the window. I rolled the pillow up in my. I took her car.
I did the Ferris Bueller thing, and I set
I hit her glasses.
set the audio of me snoring.
Nah, mom's down for a visit, so I've been being a host and socializing.
There you go. Good for you.
Yeah.
Why don't you bring her out? We go shooting.
I could have brought her to the podcast.
She could have been, dude. That would have been a hoot. Tarver's mom on the podcast.
I'm going to stick her in some VR probably tomorrow. Here, put this on your head.
Dude, you have got. How old's your mom?
74.
You're gonna put the VR goggle. Can I come over?
We go sit her down. It's like, sit down, mom.
She's gonna be beating the zombies. Which one you gonna put her in?
I don't know. I don't see her lasting long. And get this off me.
Would she have come out to the podcast?
I don't know.
I would have brought a cushy chair out for her.
Probably
too.
not.
She could have been on the podcast. We could learn all about Tarver's childhood.
No.
Let's bring her out. I'm gonna call her up personally. I'm gonna invite her out on Wednesday. We're gonna have a midweek podcast. The Cajun Cowboy's mother is
I'll
going
just
to
tell
be.
her, so look, there's these Chinese spies that's calling people. You don't answer that. You'll be caught up in something. You'll be caught up in a congressional hearing. Don't be a part of that.
Oh my gosh. So anything besides guns, unless we done with the gun talk? We done with talking about
We
new
can,
firearms?
yeah.
I mean, is there something else we want to point out?
I'd
Anything cool? Nothing. You got anyone coming in and been buying guns? You're going like, no one licking the guns anymore,
no. I had
stroking them, petting
had some
them.
kids licking the glass the other day, but
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
that's okay.
It's freaking Twin Falls.
Yeah.
So what else has been going on over there? Have you? I mean, you're at the gun counter, so people come talk guns and talk about what's going on in town.
Something came up the other day and I don't know the whole gist of it. I just overheard phone conversation and then some other things. Things like the deal that happened in Texas, the church. Apparently something not to that extent happened here locally. I'm not sure which church, which congregation, whatever.
Right.
I just heard the little brief history about it. Apparently it was like a Wednesday evening.
Right.
It wasn't really a church, Sunday morning or anything. But some guy just came in off the street and was kind of being a little disruptive and, being kind of loud. And they politely asked him to be quiet and stuff like that. He kind of started making a little scene and being a little vulgar and I guess blowing kisses at the ladies and stuff like that. Just being really weird.
Time to lay hands on him.
So this guy,
Yeah.
so this guy comes, this is how I heard it, is the guy comes says he's never been into handguns in his whole life. Just he hunts with rifles and stuff, but
Right.
never handgun. And it put him on edge with everything that happened in Texas. And I can see that. I understand that people, don't normally see stuff like that. And it is a little different. So, but he decided he was going to get a handgun and didn't know what he wanted, didn't want to spend a lot, just thought it was a good idea. It sounded like he was going to get training and he already had something lined up.
Right.
But with a law enforcement officer. But it's something that, just because
What?
I got a story about that.
No one saw me. Yeah.
no, I mean, it's
Go
just,
ahead.
it's not an everyday thing that stuff happens. And I don't think people should just jump right into going and buying a gun.
Right.
I mean, yes, it's, if that's what you really want to do and you seriously want to protect yourself, that's great. But you really need to educate yourself before you do.
Well, when you purchase a package deal. Buy the gun, buy some ammo, get a good holster, and go buy some training.
Yeah.
It's a package deal, not just
Right. Don't
$500,
just think the
$600 for the gun.
Right.
And, ammo, holster, training.
Just like the gun isn't going to get up and walk and shoot somebody,
Right.
it's not going to help protect you unless you know what you're doing.
It's not a magic totem. Just because you have it means that everyone's, nothing's going to happen. No. You still have to know how to use it.
Yeah.
You still need to know how to use it and when to use it. You need to understand that, and it's because people don't think about these things.
Right.
You have to understand that when you pull that trigger, even if you're shooting at someone, if you miss, you're responsible for everything that leaves your gun.
Yep.
If you stop the threat and kill someone sitting in the pew over there, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're still going down for that. That's just the way that's going to work.
So I applaud people for wanting to be, self-defense and
Right.
Do that stuff. But I cringe sometimes when I hear people just going to buy a gun and they don't have a clue what they're doing. I hate judging people at the gun counter, but it's kind of what I have to do when I sell guns.
Mm-hmm.
You have to determine whether or not this person should really have a gun,
Right.
It's a call. You got to make that call. Certain people definitely push that boundary pretty, it's really hairline if I want to do it or not, as far as that goes. So, this guy wasn't like that at all. I mean, I felt like he really was taking the right steps. I don't know if he's followed through with anything yet, but
At least you put that thought into his mind, his brain.
right. Which I do with a lot of people. I mean, I have to judge people right off the bat. And
Right.
I can tell you right now, like a lady earlier today, she bought a gun. She said she wanted a gun and she beat her husband in pool. And so he had to buy her a gun. That was their deal. And I'm like, okay, but why do you want this gun?
Right.
What do you intend on doing with it? And
Cheaper than a divorce.
well, she never, and that's the thing is,
I'm picking up a shovel while I'm here too.
yeah. I don't really know that she knew exactly the purpose of having the gun.
Right.
So that kind of is a question to me. Why? Just because? I mean, I'd buy guns just because, but
right.
But in a certain case like that,
I will say this. I will say that I've noticed, and for a long time when I first started Patriot Defense, for a long time, I couldn't get anyone to take any more than the permit class. Okay, I couldn't get anyone to do anything else, just the permit class. And starting last year, I did a few the year before, and then starting last year they started to pick up. But I'm going to tell you right now that
Keep going.
what?
sorry.
Anyhow, I'm reading stuff.
Okay.
Now I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
People wasn't taking
Sorry.
any more
Oh,
than
yeah. I want to tell you that in the last probably 2 months, I've done more private classes than I probably did all last year.
Yeah.
Or in the last month. I mean, did you see the post? I spent 14 hours
Yeah.
at the range the other day. Private. And I have people call me every week for private classes. And that's fantastic to me. People are searching that out. They're feeling that responsibility to not only go out and buy a gun, but they know that they maybe need some help. They know that they maybe need to be taught accuracy and the fundamentals. And that's a good sign. Maybe stuff's changing a little bit, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is people need to, I was taught at a young age that you respect the firearm. There's a lot of people out there that, they ask to look at a firearm at the gun counter. they have no. I would never go shooting with those people.
Right.
I could tell you right away, as soon as they grab the gun, I could tell you if I would go shooting with those people or not.
Right.
Just based on the way they handle it. Yes, I check the gun every time to make sure it's unloaded.
They should check it too.
They should check it too. And it's not going to hurt my feelings if they check it. I check it for my safety. I don't check it for their safety.
Right.
So.
No, I totally get it. I teach that in my class, especially my beginner's class. You need to know how to check this. If you don't have someone help you check it.
Yeah.
But even if someone has just checked it, it's just being repetitive on that safety. You gotta be safe. You gotta treat it like it's a loaded firearm and check it every single time.
Yeah.
So
well, something else like besides that church thing. This is off topic, I guess. Well, no, it's still on topic.
We
don't have
do.
We're rolling. We're just rolling with the punches.
We're
here.
just cruising today, man.
No, so what happened is there's a person that I'm pretty familiar with that was we had an incident at an Outback Steakhouse. I'll say the venue because it's been on the news and everything.
Did you hear about that?
No, what happened?
This guy walks in. He's wearing all black with a black hood, black mask.
Mask.
Yeah. He comes up to the bar and just stands there. Bartender says, "Hey, can I help you with any?" I hope I'm getting this right. It's been a few weeks since this has happened, but bartender's like, "Can I get you something?" And the guy just stands there, doesn't say a word. So the person's creeped out, goes and gets the boss. The boss comes up, says, "Hey, you're more than welcome to stay. You can sit down, warm up, do whatever. We just need you to take the mask off," stuff like that. And the guy lost it. He just started freaking out. Starts throwing silverware and picks up one of the bar stools apparently and throws it, and never actually throws it at people from my understanding. He just throws it at the ground or at the wall or whatever.
Right.
People are the waiters, waitresses are gathering up people and getting them back to the kitchen, which is pretty much a kill box, but we're not going to talk about that.
Right. Well, they still want their money. They still want their money.
Yeah. So
Gotta get that steak on the way out the back door.
Yeah, everyone start paying.
So then this guy, they eventually get him moved out to the lobby, and it's just a little area, but he starts hitting his head on the window and stuff. Pretty much just destroyed property. That's about all.
Window liquor.
Yeah. There was certain people that were standing up and creating a barrier. They weren't, I guess there was a birthday party going on and stuff.
Right.
Things like that. But the next day, this person that I know comes in and says, "Hey, I really want to get a firearm based on this event." Everything that I heard about this event, scenario, to me, I don't think I would have ever drawn my firearm.
Right.
He asked me, who goes to a restaurant with their firearm? I do.
Me.
For that very
I go to
reason.
the bathroom with a rifle.
That's right. Dang it.
So you never know when it's going to happen. And things like that, they do scare people. I get that. I understand that it is a very, especially when you have young kids and you're worried about your family and whatnot. But your first instinct is to go buy a handgun is not necessarily always the best thing.
Right.
You gotta come to the realization that you can't always just think of the handgun as the problem solver.
Right.
And especially with people and I'm not saying this person has a short fuse or something, but there are people out there that the first thing that they're going to go for is their handgun, and that's not a good thing.
They need to. Just because you have a handgun, it's there to protect you if you need it, but it doesn't mean you need to go for it. You kind of have to have your line in the sand. And I look at that guy. Was he scaring people? Yes, but was he attacking anyone? Was he? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Was he physically trying to harm anybody?
Maybe a really justifiable reason for someone to pull the handgun and go after him, unless they were going to try to hold him there or something like that.
Right.
But if you're there with your family, let's say,
I ain't holding him there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if you're there with your family, my goal is to protect my family.
Yeah.
And so I have a handgun, and I'm probably not going to present it unless the fight comes to me.
Yeah.
If they start getting violent and I have an opportunity, sure. But if the fight comes to me, that's when I'm going to.
But you're gonna assess the situation.
Well, sure.
You're gonna look at things. You're gonna see.
Yeah, you got to understand what's going on.
taking place. your first instinct is to not go straight for your handgun.
So did anybody take a defensive posture of any kind, or
So
did they
there's
just
a couple
call
there's a
cops
couple
and-
bigger guys that were at the birthday party thing, and they kind of like stood between the birthday party and that guy to make sure he would not get to him.
Right.
And I think they actually may have helped push the guy out. And I know some of the people, the workers at Outback, moved him out. Apparently, you know, after they caught him. I mean, the cops. It sounds like it took a while, but cops got there. They caught the guy. And from what I hear, he just wanted to feel powerful. He just wanted to have that over people, you know, just to. And which is a stupid excuse, but
Was he a mental health or just some?
I'm not
idiot?
sure what's going on. I mean, I
watched
haven't
too
heard
much
much of
TV or
anything
something.
else, but
Smoking the chronic.
yeah.
Got the weed in the system. Shoot him.
He had that marijuana.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is stuff that, you know, I wish I would have been on the podcast a little more lately because
We wish
could
you would have. We wish you would
could
have
have talked about it a little earlier, but this is stuff that's happened. You know, this has been
We sent out the SOS.
a
No one
month ago
answered.
or so. But anyway, it's a little different. It's a little different when it hits that close to home.
Right.
So, ABR. I mean, always be ready.
Yeah. Be ready, be prepared, and go out and get educated a little bit. Just like I said, you know, just because I've been around people that just because they have a firearm, they want to use that firearm. They'll try to use it, and you don't want to.
You don't.
As much as I hate the word, you kind of want to be tactical about its use. You know,
Last resort possible. If you didn't have that firearm, what would you do? And do that first. And
right.
the last resort. It's just funny that the whole Outback Steakhouse didn't have no. I mean, you had a couple big guys that kind of.
Oh, yeah, and they weren't. I mean, I don't know. To me, I think that the first thing is that if they're wanting to get people out of that situation, don't take them back to the kitchen where there's no escape.
A lot of knives.
That's just well, I mean,
Right. Yeah.
Stab it.
There's a door. You know, there's an exit door here. There's an exit door there. There's a takeout order door. I mean, get
Lots
people
of glass. You can get out of there. Man.
Get people out of. You have insurance to cover the loss.
So
on
they
your
want
food or
people to
whatever.
pay for their food,
So
though.
get people out of there. Get people out of that situation.
They got to register in the kitchen. Take them to the kitchen.
Free drinks. There's the door.
So that's. I mean, who knows what could potentially have happened?
Oh yeah.
I guess, but
I mean, you can look at it and we can gameplay it, but you know what? Everything seemed to happen okay. And you know, if those big guys were there and they helped usher the guy out, that's awesome that a couple people stepped up,
Right.
and helped. I mean, that's kind of what we have to do to a certain extent. We got to take our own.
Thank God this guy wasn't armed, because if he wanted to feel powerful, that's the kind of silly stuff you hear about
Yeah.
shooters.
No,
that take
exactly.
place.
Pretty tight area, lots of people jammed in there. It's not that big of a place.
no, it's not.
So
What's funny is it's Outback. Why the Outback? I mean, I've been involved in several instances myself, but it's usually at a Denny's or something. It's at an IHOP. You know,
Golden Corral.
Well, it's
Waffle House.
No, man, it's breakfast food. It's
Yeah. Like
bars
late
close at 2
night,
o'clock.
Yeah.
3 o'clock if you in
Yeah.
there. Get ready.
You get some weirdos, that's for sure.
Oh,
Well, everybody's leaving the bar, so you never know what's going to happen at that time.
yeah. the Waffle House.
Oh man, that was my job, man.
Excitement at the Waffle House.
Oh
Yeah.
man, you don't mess with the Waffle House.
Especially if they got chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles. Ooh, chicken.
What's wrong with chicken, man?
I don't know. I don't do that stuff no more.
Oh, that's right.
I am a dimple. I am treating my body as such.
Okay.
I'm eating broccoli.
Ooh,
Well, that's why you smell so bad. No, I'm just kidding.
Brussels sprouts. We missed you. Did I tell you that? We missed you a lot.
Yeah,
Mark.
I missed coming here. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Seems like everything just.
He
got
doesn't know
away.
why. Did he just say he doesn't know why he missed being here?
No, I mean it's like
Well, that's
I
what
meant,
I
like,
heard.
I don't
That's
know
what
why.
I heard he didn't know why he missed being here.
I don't know why everything just kept getting in the way. Is what I meant.
Okay, well, big news. I'll let the podcast listeners, and I'm sure most of them are on Facebook, so they know. So I have made Patriot Defense used to be the weekend thing. I have made Patriot Defense my full-time gig. So everyone sign up for freaking classes so I don't have to change this again.
You need a sound effect. Yay!
Yay. I have to find the applause one. I don't.
okay.
I mean, I don't like we.
How dare you?
Oh, how
That's,
dare you?
that's all I got
Oh,
right
geez.
there. So yeah, so it's going to be my full-time gig now. So they're hopefully, they're going to start seeing a lot more classes show up on my Facebook page, on my calendar, and I'll be announcing those as we go. I've got this pretty cool class. I'm pretty excited for. Gentleman is, where's it at? Why can't I find anything when I need it? It's called he calls it the EFPS class, the Entangled Fight Problem Solving, and what it is it's he talks to you about all kinds of stuff. I signed it up. It's going to come up a few times during the summer. It's going to be 12 people per class, and he there is a small shooting portion, but he talks about how, you know, everything's really gun centric, but if you're up close and personal and you goes hands on, he teaches you how to create space so you're still able to draw your firearm and then get it into the action, into the defensive action. So it should be a pretty good class. I think I've got it. It's about 75% filled right now, but I'm going to have that class and some other classes coming up because I've got to I'll try to bring more to the Magic Valley because I think there's much more than just concealed carry permit classes.
Yeah.
I mean, there really is.
And it's not the potential business aspect. It's the training. I mean, the more people
broadening horizons.
Yeah, the more people I know have been trained and stuff out there, the better off I feel.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't want like somebody going gung ho and just thinking that they're vigilante and doing whatever they want. Well, but I do like it that people.
I really want to get into the mindset aspect of it too, and I think this guy will do that in this class. And I mean, he talks about, and maybe you can, I mean, just a little bit. He talks about how, and I'm sure Tarver, maybe you can throw in your 2 cents because he worked in corrections and you worked in corrections for a while, and he talks about how when you're dealing with evil, when you're dealing with evil, bad people, that you almost have to speak their language.
Oh yeah, you do.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I listened to the podcast, and there's a few things I like. And if he's listening, I'm sure he's weary of me, and I'm just like I am of him because everybody that kind of goes that route, they all kind of look at each other. It's like, well, I got to wait and see if you're real.
No, I get that. Actually.
I think he nailed down a lot of what is good. And one of the things that frustrated me with martial arts and stuff is you teach a lot of people stuff, and God bless you. The more you know, the better you are. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people get this false sense of being okay. And when he was dealing with the mindset, I'm like, that's beautiful because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't have the mindset to use it, you're gonna pull your punches. You're gonna be soft. You got to have the mindset of I will take your head apart with a claw hammer. Well, you got to sometimes you got to get a little ugly. You got to get a little vicious.
It's interesting because when we do the concealed carry permit classes, there's part of it where we're talking about when you're justified, using force against someone and threatening, and maybe threats aren't a reason to pull your gun out and freaking shoot someone.
Yeah.
And we talk about different things. And the guy that puts on the class, at least my concealed carry permit class, he's a big dude. And he usually picks like some little gal in the class to make his point, comes up and tries to get that lady to yell at him and scream at him, I'm going to kill you, in her biggest, meanest voice. And very rarely, I think once, he's got one person to actually scream and yell and holler at him. Most of them don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. Right. And so in this class, the guy that's putting on this class, Jared is his name, Jared Carnes, and he's with Discipline Defense Solutions. But he actually tries to get people to scream and yell and really try to find that from deep down. Does that make sense? He tries to break through that barrier, saying, hey, you gotta talk to these people the way they understand.
Josie Wales said it best. You got to get mad dog mean.
Mad dog mean. Yep. So this will be a different class, and I think anyone's actually, we have some bigger places around here that used to do some.
Hold up.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're good.
I don't want to scare nobody with that. That sounds, kind of dark. You know what I mean? I don't want to shy anybody away. Come take the class.
Yeah, no.
Get out of it what you can, and I don't want to make it sound. You know what I'm saying? I caught what that sounded like. I'm like, that sounds kind of dark. Well, I don't want to scare nobody away from it. It's not going to be all that. All right?
Yeah, and I honestly, it's going to be a good class, but I think
claw hammers.
No claw hammers. But I mean, I think he's gonna make people think. He's gonna make people think and reconsider what they're doing and see maybe where their weaknesses lie a little bit. And the fact that I'm looking forward to, as much as I like shooting, as much as I like the handgun, and I'll tell you what he's teaching is probably an area that I'll be honest, I probably lack in it too. I've never taken a class like this, but he's going to teach everyone it's not just because you have a firearm, it's not gun centric necessarily.
I love a few of the things he said.
I'm glad you listened, by the way. I mean, no.
I'm the only one that listens to the podcast.
No. I mean, I'm glad you caught what he had to say because I was really wondering what your opinions of that was.
Well, a couple of things he said is that it's a learning process, and we're still taking things in, because what you don't want is some guy who thinks he's got all the answers.
Right.
Most of the guys who really, I don't know. A lot of stuff I like what he said. And one thing that upset me about Joe Rogan was talking about people don't understand violence, and I'm like, dude, you're on a mat with rules, and it ain't the same thing. And the way he was talking, it's like it's a whole different world when you get into real violence where people are trying to kill you. And the more you get into situations like that, the more you realize,
right,
it ain't a cartoon. Everything don't work. So you start adapting and changing things, and you get more open. The people who haven't actually got into real violence and
has seen that
life
before.
And death kind of stuff, they think, well, I'll do this and I'll do that, and I'm like,
it's not textbook.
That crap don't work.
It's not, it's not textbook. Most of the time, it's probably not. I'm excited because I think that it's not even with I was about ready to say, we had the big range down that direction, west of us that used to do civilian type stuff. They don't do that anymore, but they didn't even have classes like this. That's kind of a shoot from cars, run around and shoot at their fancy metal targets. I mean, you learn stuff, but it's kind of a wow factor class when they used to. When's the last time you've heard about a class like this here?
Well, no, I haven't.
You haven't.
There needs to be one, because
I'm excited about it.
There's so many more aspects than just the gun.
Right.
There's the mental aspect, the emotional aspect, the physical, other than you're not just pulling a trigger, you're actually physically in a fight.
Yeah.
You've got to be well-rounded. You can't just be one-sided, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Right.
You've got to really know every single thing, anything you can get advantage.
And just because you have it, like I said, I stated it earlier, just because you have a firearm doesn't mean it's some magic totem and that's going to be the answer. Because to be honest with you, if the evil shows up and gets on you right then and there, and they're on you, it's kind of, and they're hands on, it's probably pretty hard for you to draw a firearm if you have one, depending on where it is. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah. Well, and another thing I like is I've heard a lot of people offer all kind of self-defense classes and offer all kind of self-defense teaching.
Right.
And I've never heard one that I thought, okay, I want to hear what this guy's got to say. And this guy I wanted to hear. And it sounds like a plug, and it's not. It's not. But the way he talked and the way he said some things, I'm like, all right, I'll pay attention to this.
Yeah, he's very well versed, and
he's not beating his chest, and
no, he's not,
bro.
And I will tell you that I've talked to this guy for the last
don't do tough guy stuff
numerous times for like the last probably 2 months before I felt like this is what I was, and I've talked to you about it too more than once. I think I'm going to do this before I got to that point. So I'm actually really excited.
I hope you get some people out, and I would love to get them on the podcast after they get done with the class.
I am going to, actually. I've got I think I got about 9 people signed up. I've got room for 12, so
okay,
and maybe a few more. We'll see. I
get a couple of extras just in case somebody can't show up.
No, they're already paying, buddy. This is all prepay.
Okay,
I get the freaking money.
Whoa.
So I'll tell you the funny thing is I'm.
Well, it kind of has to be. I mean, you got people coming in out of state.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought I was pretty up to par on everything. This is kind of taking a side track again, but I thought I was pretty up to par on technology and stuff, right?
Okay.
Now I'm trying to figure out how to, because my classes usually I just pay class, and then I get screwed sometimes because no one shows up. I mean, it's happened. So I thought, well, this guy's coming in. I'm in charge. This is the one part of this I'm doing. I'm kind of getting people. I need to get money. I need to get people signed up in the class. This guy can't show up and have like no one show up. If no one shows up for class and he shows up, at least I can pay him, you know. But so I asked around a little bit. You guys have heard of Venmo?
Yeah.
Have you heard of Venmo?
I don't know. It sounds familiar, but I'm not.
So yeah,
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you're like me. So you know what I spent 2 days doing? I spent 2 days on the phone talking to my 22-year-old daughter. How the hell do I set this crap up? Do people really use this? Yeah, Dad, people use it all the time. Huh? And so I set it all up and I sent that out to people that wanted to sign up for the class, and I get all these. I don't know how to do this.
Like, well, there's so many now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyhow, it was a learning experience at Patriot Defense over the last few days. But I got Venmo. If you want to send me $100, you're more than welcome to.
Venmo.
Venmo me.
What about PayPal? I mean, isn't that?
It's part of PayPal.
Oh, okay.
But it's there's like no fees, at least on my end. Maybe on your
free,
end.
Right?
Yeah. So, okay. I'm trying to think of anything else that I want to chat before we get into some news stories.
Okay.
I don't think there is.
All right. Anytime you say there's something I want to think about, you're going to draw a blank.
So I will, if I remember anything, we'll go there. Let's talk about this Florida thing.
Florida cop. Florida's finest.
Florida man.
Where is this from? This is from everybody. This is Associated Press. Unfortunately, this is a shortened thing of the story.
I didn't shorten it. I
know. I went back and looked. I found the first story.
Okay.
And it had details of all of it, and it was so much funnier. And then I'm like, I found that at home surfing, and I'm like, I got to find it on my phone so I can send it to you. And I'm like, I can't find this crap.
You know what? If you have a Mac, you can actually take the article and text it right to me from your Mac.
I can do that from my phone, but I don't tie all this stuff together. I actually have different computers for different functions, never the two intertwine.
Yeah, I know you do.
I have different bank accounts for different functions.
I know your system.
You gotta hide all that crap, man. Now my face is on Facebook.
He goes home every 2 weeks and files off his fingerprint. Oh, they're healing. Time to do it again.
I have different phones that only call certain people. You gotta do. It don't work anymore. Okay,
Florida man.
Florida cop shoots. I don't know what that sounds like.
Bang bang.
Shoots self while trying to shoot charging dog.
Chihuahua.
It was a lab. It was a female lab. This is from the Associated Press. A South Florida police officer shot himself in the hand early Friday while trying to shoot a dog that was charging toward him, authorities said. The officer was responding to a call at a home in Davine when the family's dog ran toward him. Lieutenant Mark Leonard told news outlets. Davine is a suburb of Fort Lauderdale.
Was he scratching the dog's ear while he held the gun? I think you're friendly. I'm going to scratch you here, but I'm going to keep this gun trained on you.
While the officer was trying to shoot the dog, he instinctively, through his police training, put his hand out to protect himself, and the bullet hit his hand. I can see how that would happen, actually.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, actually, I could too.
But yeah, so he tried to shoot the dog. He shot his hand.
Shit happens.
Another officer helped him tie a belt around his arm to stop the bleeding. Boy, it must have been a pretty good hit. The officer was taken to the hospital for treatment. The injuries weren't considered life-threatening. Leon said the dog was grazed by the bullet and is expected to be okay.
Well, it deflected off his hand.
It was a female lab. It just ran out there to him, and he's going to shoot the dog. And the dog wasn't no trouble, and the dog's like, "Fool, what are you doing?" And turned around and went back home. I forgot the dog's name, something like Fluffy or something, Pookie or some crap. Stop shooting dogs.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I should bring this up, but we had something like that here locally.
Yes, we did. In Filer. You know that one.
Yeah. Well, that man said on tape, "I shot your dog. I didn't want him to bite me." I'm like, for freak's sakes, you come on, man. That's not fear for your life. But he said on tape, "I didn't want to go to the hospital and have to get a shot." Dude,
because he'd been bitten before.
Don't come into my house shooting dog. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, he wasn't a very well liked officer.
Is he still around?
I don't think.
I don't
he's-
even know.
I don't think he's there anymore.
think he's around
I don't
anymore.
think he's around.
He's probably out killing people somewhere else because he's a first generation American. Let's bring the Somali police out here.
I know he was a little trigger happy, but I mean, I think one was justified, but still, yeah.
Anyhow, okay. Before I irritate law enforcement even more,
Well,
'Cause that's
law
what I
enforcement,
tend
you
to
need to thin your ranks when you got a shitbag out there shooting dogs and killing people in Filer freaking Idaho. Come on, man.
it was slow that night.
All right, well, we need to slow our roll a little bit. If you can't call out the bad guys, then hey, somebody's got to call them out.
Okay,
Or you can lose the confidence of the American public.
hey, I freaking remembered what I wanted to talk about now.
Okay, what's that? Oh shit, I'm scared after that.
Oh, no.
After that little.
No, I had Dean off the podcast. Okay, he showed up, and we were kind of working through just a class that I was kind of putting together, and Stacy never showed up to do his part. But so we were there, and I had the ammunition rounds laid out on the table,
Okay,
and I said, "Here, let's do the 21-foot rule."
let's shoot the dog.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do the 21-foot rule. Here's a gun. You can shoot me. And I posted that video. Did you see the video?
I saw the video. Yeah.
So it was really funny because, I was wearing a really pretty heavy sweatshirt anyway. But did you see me when I started at about 21 feet because that's what that room is. I measured it, and I was talking to him. And did you see me kind of cheating forward a little closer and a little closer?
Trying to gain his trust and kind of
Yeah.
inch forward. Yeah.
And then I thought for sure, because he's seen my other videos, I thought for sure he would catch on. And when I went to, you never did see the video, that's right, on Facebook. When I go to charge him, you just see him stick his hand out. I don't have anything you need, sir. He sticks his arm out. And meanwhile, I'm like on him. So he pulls the gun up and he shoots me numerous times at the Sims. It went through the sweatshirt and it like freaking broke my skin. I mean, he shot me like that close.
Wow.
And he's cowering in the corner. And as soon as he shoots me, he was and we were having a good time though. He was the nicest victim I've ever seen.
Did you get him?
I got to him. He shot me in the left arm, but I mean, if I would have had a knife in my hand, I was still all over. I mean, it would have been, he didn't stop me. Bang, bang, bang. I was on top of him when he was pulling the trigger, so I would have been stabbing him or whatever if I had a knife. But he was on the corner cowering, and then, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was really kind of entertaining to see.
Okay, well, you can't shoot me and say you're sorry. We're going to have a problem with that.
My son was holding the GoPro.
We're going to be upset.
My son was laughing so hard, I had to like cut that part out.
Yeah.
It was pretty hilarious. It was funny though, right?
Right.
So you didn't
Yeah.
have a weapon in your hand?
It's amazing though. Like
I told him I did though. I mean, I said, imagine I have a weapon in my hand.
Get you a red marker and pull it off, and everywhere you stab or slice,
I've got
so
a video
now
like
I
that.
don't remember because I did it like you had me shoot you once with it, and it was a pretty decent distance, but I felt really weird about it.
I did too. It was a weird
Yeah.
experience.
Like it was just odd pointing a gun at you.
Yeah.
And, you know,
It was weird
how did
having it
Dean-
pointed
like
at
how
you,
did
too.
Dean feel in that situation where you're coming towards him?
So I think it made him feel weird too. I'm actually going to have him. He had to leave that night, but I'm going to have him come back on and actually talk about that a little bit. I want to kind of get into that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure it was just he had it in a holster and everything, so he had to like unholster the thing,
Right.
draw the firearm, and I think it caught him off guard because the look. To be honest with you, have me running at him. When you look at his face, because he couldn't run away. There was a wall behind him for a few, but he was in the corner. Did you see
I saw him hunkered.
He
like,
was in
yeah,
the corner and he had slid down to the
yeah,
ground and
in the
look.
fetal position. No.
I mean, kind of.
Almost, yeah.
I mean, the look on his face, his eyes were like that big around.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it really. We started laughing afterwards, but I think it startled him. I don't think he wasn't prepared for that.
No, and
Even though I think he thought, okay, I know what's going to happen.
So how many times did y'all do that?
We did it like 4 times.
like I shot one round at you, and I still I look back at that, and I still feel weird about it.
Yeah. So we did it like 4 times. And I think I put like 5 rounds in his mag for every time we did it. And I won't say he, but I got probably hit 12 times. I mean, I got smacked around, but the only one I could use was the first one because I knew it was going to freaking hurt when he shot me with it. So on the other ones, when I get to him, I was actually turning kind of like to block everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun, but it hurt.
Did you get him every time?
Oh yeah, I got to him. He hit me He hit me. Oh, there, Jared's listening.
Okay.
So there you go. One thing to point out is that we all stopped to read.
Let's just stop for a little while.
Yeah, silence.
Let's just chill out for a minute.
But no, he did get the gun out. But I mean, I still got to him. He still hit me with rounds. Mm-hmm. But I was still there. I was still on him. I got to him with momentum.
I want to see this video. Where did you have your weapon hand at?
Where did I have my hand at?
See, you were already like being prepared to be shot. You had your arm up, like, deflect. I mean,
yeah, I kind of reached out with my left hand to kind of grab the gun, and when I did that, he started pulling the trigger, and that's when I turned.
Yeah,
and he got me all the way up and down this arm. I took multiples in the back of the forearm and the elbow.
He double hand gripped on.
I don't think he did. I think in the video he's got one.
Yeah, he just got one. I'd have to
say, what's he doing with his other hand? He's not trying to control your weapon hand, or
no. He's quivering in the corner.
Okay. Last case scenario.
Yeah.
Last case. The sacrifice hand.
I'm looking at this. So Jared, I'm going to actually read it this time. Okay, Jared says one thing to point out in that drill is Todd. He had the gun out. He did not have to draw from concealment. He did draw. It wasn't concealed. So, I mean, if he actually had to draw from concealment, he probably wouldn't have got, because I was like right there.
Yeah, because like with me, I'd have to lift my shirt. You know?
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily.
It'd take a second to process.
I'd have to watch. What the hell are you doing? So I'd have to watch the video again, because I know one of his hands. To be honest, I'd have to replay it. One of his hands went out, and he was being kind of goofy. And I don't have anything you need, sir. And I didn't see where his right hand went. So maybe that's when he started to go back. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again.
I'd kind of like to do like a beginning thing, like where what he does, the first time, and then let him train a little bit. Let him like practice drawing and stuff, right? And see if he gets any better.
Get him to come to the class and then see how he does.
Yeah.
I just want to see if getting the routine down a little bit. Maybe even just 15, 20 minutes of it, just to get him a little bit of practice in it, if he could do any better than he originally did.
And I think we should do it like the video that I show too, where he wears a freaking white sweatshirt and I have a red marker, and let's see what happens.
There you go.
Well, I tell you what, you kind of didn't commit. We had some guys that did that 21-foot rule. They tested it out and they shot each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In that story.
Shot his friend with a .357.
But were those the guys in Arkansas?
I don't remember.
Those were those guys in Arkansas.
I love those guys, but they proved it.
They made up that they were protecting the unit or whatever they were.
The big thing is,
I remember that story.
If you're not a little situational awareness, if you feeling like something's wrong, you're already getting in position, you got a good chance. Biggest problem is if you don't see it coming, you're not expecting somebody to run up on you. You're going to get stuck up 4 or 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is going on?
Jared,
what is wrong with you?
Jared asked if he actually drew from concealment. He drew from an outside the waistband holster. It was not concealment. So there you go. It says the average process time from visual input is 1.2 to 1.5 seconds. So I don't know. It was interesting. It was fun to play with.
And then are you going to freeze up? What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? I mean, he knew it was a game, but even at the end, the look on his face just...
Yeah, I mean, you
saw the look on his face. You're still
stunned. I mean, you still have to come to the realization you just shot somebody.
Then he told me he was sorry.
And you were being attacked. And I mean, even though you guys were laughing, that's still kind of traumatic if you think about it.
On the very last one we did, I recorded all of them, and I only did the other one because I was waiting for the impact every time after that. I was just like protecting myself.
Did he ever get a kill shot on you?
Freaking hurt. Nope, they were all in the arm, every last one of them. But
jeez.
But let me say this. I wanted to point out though something funny.
Was it your weapon arm at least? Was it
No, it was my left hand.
Target.
I was reaching for the gun, so if I would have had my knife, it would have been in the right hand, and that's the way it would have been.
So he focused on what was coming at him.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so that
he got killed every time.
Yeah. So the very last time we did it, and I should dig it out and just throw it up. It was funny. He starts yelling at me about what did he say? You asinine left-leaning Nancy Pelosi loving Democrat. He's screaming at me. It was kind of funny after that. We were just goofing off, but so
interesting.
That's what I had forgotten about.
Okay.
So we got a couple things here, and let's vote on this. We want to make fun of the Democrats a little bit.
It's kind of hard to top what they do themselves, but sure, let's hear what you got.
You want to make fun of the Democrats? Let's make fun of the Democrats.
Let's get the low-hanging fruit. Let's get these.
Because that's what we do. Ready?
Okay.
Senator Sanders, for many voters in this Democratic primary, your allure is about consistency. When it comes to progressive issues, you've been on the right side of them for a long time. One exception is gun rights. In the 90s, when you were in Congress, you voted against background checks, and you also voted against a waiting period for purchase of a firearm. Can you explain why you oppose these things that you now support?
I can, Adam, and let me also say that in 1988, I probably lost a race for Congress, and we only have one congressperson in the whole state, because in 1988, I said that we should ban the sale and distribution of assault weapons in this country. That was 30 years ago. Furthermore, I am very proud that today I have a D- voting record from the NRA. And under my administration,
the NRA is non-existent anymore.
It will be the American people doing gun policy, not dictated by the NRA. But to answer your question, I come, like New Hampshire, from a very, very rural state. In Vermont, until last 2 years ago, we had virtually no gun control legislation at all, and I represented that perspective. The world has changed. In Vermont and in New Hampshire and all over this country, people are sickened by the mass shootings that we have seen and the gun violence that we have seen. The world has changed and my views have changed. And my view is right now, we need universal background checks. We end the gun show loophole. We end the so-called straw man provision. We make certain that we end the sale and distribution of assault weapons in this country.
Any thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Madman. Absolute madman. Boy, I can't hear nothing no more. What'd you do?
Oh, you can't hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, hear me. It's Crazy Bernie.
Crazy Bernie.
Crazy Bernie. And as he's screaming to the microphone, he's freaking spitting, and he's Crazy Bernie.
He is insane. And I tell you what, if the Democrats wasn't cheating, he would win. He would win the nomination.
Oh, my gosh.
He would be their nominee. That's why they didn't release the Iowa results. He won so big, they acted like the app messed up. Then they recount it, and he still won. They're like, it's too close. I'm like, it ain't too close, man. That was a solid win. Bernie won.
So we got Crazy Bernie.
Crazy Bernie.
Next one we have is Creepy Biden.
And we go further. But the bottom line is I will not be intimidated by the NRA. We're going to run the gun policy that the American people want.
Vice President Biden, you've taken a lot of heat in this primary on these debate stages and from voters here in New Hampshire for your past positions. You've essentially asked them to look at the totality of your record and give you the benefit of the doubt. Does Senator Sanders deserve that same benefit of the doubt on guns?
Well, look, here's the deal. The biggest mistake that Bernie made, that Senator Sanders made, he voted to give the gun manufacturers, the only major industry in America, a loophole that does not allow them to be sued for the carnage they are creating. First thing I'll do as president is work to get rid of that. It's going to be hard. Think of all the thousands and thousands of people who died. And I might add, Bernie, while you were representing your constituency, an awful lot of people, they're a gun state and they've come around. In fact, all those folks in California, New York, Pennsylvania, they were getting killed by the thousands during this same period. I come from a state that's a major gun-owning state. I introduced the first assault weapons ban. I, in fact, got it passed. I'm the only guy that beat the NRA twice. While I was pushing the Brady background checks, Bernie voted 5 times against it when he was in the House. So look, the other thing is that when we have to be held accountable for the things we did. I'm the guy that set up drug courts. I set them up. I wrote it into law, and it never got funded. And also on opioids, I'm the guy who's already begun to make a down payment. In the Cures Act, I put in $1 billion to fight opioid addiction. And lastly, my time is going to be up shortly. Here's the deal. Those chief executive officers of those drug companies, they should not only be fined, they should go to jail.
Senator Warren, we'd like.
So he did all that when he wasn't inappropriately touching young children.
He's the guy. He's the guy that did that.
They're competing over who can violate your Second Amendment rights more.
Yes, they are.
If any of these clowns get in, and Bloomberg, I think, tops them all. He's amazing. Bloomberg wants to ban anything that holds more than 3 rounds. 3 rounds.
Three rounds. Did you hear that?
Yeah, Bloomberg's in it.
You have that?
I don't have
Bloomberg also says you can't have a large soda.
Yeah, well, the reporter actually asked some legit questions, which I was shocked by. And he was like, he wanted to ban assault weapons. And she asked him, well, what is an assault weapon? Well, you know, you pull the trigger one time, tat, 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 tat.
Those are already banned.
This is a fool.
Yeah.
This is a fool we got going here. They're spending $1 billion to try and they're still passing stuff in Virginia right now. These morons are the ones we got to deal with. Tat, 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 tat. Good grief. What a moron. Yeah, he did. Yeah, like he's got a Tommy gun or something.
So I sent you
Look
this
here,
earlier.
see? I'm tired of you, see?
I sent you this earlier, but this is pretty much a representation of the way they think. Everything I don't like must be banned. Everything I do like is a human right and must be paid for by others.
That's exactly the way they feel.
That's exactly the way they think.
One of Bloomberg's stances is he wants to tax people more because if they have less money, they will have less means to harm themselves. I shit you not.
Oh my gosh.
The man said that. I'm like, you lying, right? You lying. No, it's on video.
That's
and I'm like, amazing. Yeah, with his rat, tat, 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 tat. You dirty rat. You killed my brother. Get the Tommy gun, boys. Amazing. What morons. Okay,
so let's, you guys want to listen to Sacagawea next or just?
Sacagawea?
Yeah, sure. Listen.
Okay, let's listen to Sacagawea.
To go to you now. Yeah. Plans count for a lot. I want to ask you this question here, though. Laws can do so much. If you could change one thing about America's gun culture, what would it be?
Look, we have a gun violence problem in America. It is about the mass shootings that we hear about in our schools and that frighten us, about in theaters and in churches. It's also, though, about shootings that occur on sidewalks and in playgrounds, often in communities of color that are hit hardest.
Chicago.
But there are no headlines over those. It's also about suicide and the increased lethality of suicide because of the availability of guns. It is also about the increased chances that it's usually a woman will die of domestic violence if she is with a violent man and a gun is in the home. We need.
They're blaming the gun for so much.
So the woman is going to die from domestic violence because she can't defend herself.
That's
the
why
reason.
And as far as the suicide thing, I know plenty of, unfortunately, I know a lot of people that have committed suicide or have tried to commit suicide and they didn't use a firearm.
Geez, you're a bad influence.
I know one guy when I used to live in Kansas, the dude drank antifreeze.
Wow.
Guess what? He didn't die, but now he's messed up.
So you got like a 5'2", small frame gal. She's getting beat on all the time, right? Well, a gun is a great equalizer.
It is. It's a great equalizer.
If you take that away from her, she don't have no chance.
Nope.
Well, in Japan, they have the hanging forest where everybody goes and kills themselves. They go hang themselves in the trees, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that forest.
I mean, they're for like women's rights too, but yet they want to take away the equalizer.
Yeah, you can give them this much, but not that much.
Okay, let's finish her up.
To think of this problem not as one and done or 3 things and done. We need to think of it just like we did on auto safety. We just keep coming back. We treat it like the public health emergency that it is. But the question we should be asking ourselves is when America across this country, including gun owners, agree in certain basic things, universal background checks, get assault weapons off the streets, why can we not even would get a vote in the United States Senate? And the answer is 90%. Think about this. More than 90% of Americans agree on this. We can't get a vote in the United States Senate because it is the gun industry that continues to call the shots. Until we attack the corruption in Washington, the influence of money on campaigns and lobbying, we're not going to be able to meet our promises. And one more, until we agree that we are willing to roll back the filibuster, the gun industry is going to continue to have a veto, and we will never make the changes we make. We have to be willing to build a future that works not for a gun industry, but that works for the rest of America and protects our children.
You got to be able to sue the gun industry.
So she says 90% of Americans agree with
90% of the people that hang out at their cocktail parties.
It's exactly
America.
So she said they need to get rid of the corruption and stuff. Well,
she's the corruption.
They are the corruption.
Yeah. She can't even decide who she is.
That's the pot calling the kettle black right there.
I don't know. Anyhow, there you go.
And then right at the end of that, he says we need to be able to sue
the gun companies.
Okay, so we should sue the car manufacturers when a drunk driver gets behind the wheel too then.
Yeah.
Same logic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, good Lord.
So those are your Democratic candidates.
Oh, commies.
So
let them fools get back in office and see what happens.
I tell you,
insanity.
Oh, yeah. One more thing we want to touch on here, and this was news to you when we were talking about Terran Tactical. We've touched on it at least a couple times.
I saw you post an article, but I never actually got to read it.
So just to recap, Terran Tactical's being accused by one of the gals off his shooting team. You know, the video had been released about him saying inappropriate things to her. We weren't sure how old she was, and he came out and issued an apology, and then he pulled the apology down. And then she's actually come out and made a statement now, and that's what we are going to listen to right now. And we're going to listen to the statement and listen to what she has to say, just because it's kind of some drama that I kind of like to follow in the gun world a little bit, because I'll be 100% honest with you. I think it's, well, I kind of like watching these tactical guys, and it goes to their head. I like to see them kind of just get torn down a little bit. Isn't that horrible?
That's pretty bad, man.
Isn't that pretty bad? Die. I love it. So here you go.
Here we are today. Jade has responded. I'm going to put it up on screen. I'm going to leave a link to it below so that you can read it. But I want to read it to you. About 2 weeks ago, a video was published showing me in a very uncomfortable situation. I was clearly very uneasy when it happened, and I am extremely embarrassed at how I reacted to the situation. My former employer took this video several years ago when I just turned 18 and very new to the industry. I was very young and naive and led to believe that this sort of thing was normal, expected, and required to succeed in the industry. I should have known better and stood firm against my former employer, but I did not. During my time with TTI, my former employer made many of these types of videos of me, as well as other videos that were made of other women in and around the company. These videos are very inappropriate and personal to those involved. I am disappointed in myself for not doing what I knew to be right for myself and for the others pressured into these acts. To the girls in and around TTI that felt pressured as I was, I am sorry I could not find the strength to stand up for us. My former employer has made public statements that these videos were consensual and even planned and scripted. I can assure everyone that I never planned to be sexually harassed or sexually manipulated in the workplace. Looking back, my former employer clearly planned and scripted these events, but I was never involved or consulted about what I...
Hold up. Who released the video? Who released the video to the American public?
She did.
Okay, go back.
did or did not want to do. Playing along as little as possible was simply a condition of my employment, and now I see how inappropriate and illegal it was for an employer to behave in such a way. To anyone possessing any compromising videos or images of me or any of the girls in and around TTI, please do not make any more of these videos and images public. Enough harm has already been done. Additionally, some of the content you may have received possibly includes girls under 18 at the time it was made. I am learning and healing from this experience. In the future, I hope to have better understanding of the mistakes I made and the poor decisions that led up to the moments captured in these videos. Moving forward, I will undoubtedly be a stronger person as I continue to work hard and grow my own brand of gear and equipment for this amazing industry. and I will continue to train hard and be the best in the business. I will be a stronger woman and lead by example for young women like myself who experience unwanted and inappropriate sexual advances in the workplace. Most of all, I promise to be a beacon of hope for those afraid to speak out. Thank you to everyone who has shown so much love and support. I am grateful and blessed to have you all as part of my family.
So I'm going to stop it there because I didn't get it. The recording stopped just right, and there's lots of explicit language that I'm just going to avoid.
Okay.
But there you go. I don't know.
Poor girl. Private video
that she released.
Can't believe a word she's saying, but she's got her own gear line coming.
Yeah.
So don't sweat it.
I don't know, man. The dude is kind of creepy though.
But she's totally unbelievable now. She released a video.
But he came out with the apology though.
Well, from what I understand, she was of age. She was an adult, and it was a living girlfriend.
Why would he come out and issue that apology and say,
I don't know.
Look at me. He pretty much said, hey, look, I'm a sleazy dude, and I need you guys to help hold me accountable and keep me from doing this again. You remember the apology? Then he yanked it,
shocked,
and then he put the apology back out again.
Yeah, speak to your attorney before you put that out. But the fact that she's bringing accusations, there may be more videos. They may be underage. Maybe she's a lot of maybes and all this stuff.
Right.
And how she was such a victim of it. Blah, blah, blah. And it's so horrible. These are private videos. She released the freaking video.
She did.
She's cashing in.
Well,
she's cashing in. Cha-ching! Get that money, girl.
I don't know. I don't know what to think, but
Jade. Sorry.
Yeah, I think you referred to that as a what did you
I don't remember.
You won't go there.
Odd sounding name.
Okay. But anyhow, that is. See what you missed. You missed a bunch of good stuff, man. And you weren't listening while you were gone. You missed some of our best work.
You know,
We need the views, man.
I'd start the podcast and I'd get maybe 5 minutes into it. And then, guess what? I got to go do something.
Did you ever hear a one on Virginia that we went through and played clips and went down the whole timeline of the whole Virginia thing? That was our best work.
They're still passing stuff in Virginia.
Yeah, that's.
I missed a lot. I feel shameful.
You should. You should drop and give me 50 burpees.
I'll burp 50 times if you want.
So anyhow, I think we are done for today, unless you guys think we missed something.
Not too much. No. Trump made a statement.
I forgot about that.
At his, and the word I was trying to think of earlier that I couldn't think of when I was talking about the training was mushin. It's a Japanese word. Mine, no mine. Don't ask me to explain it. It's been getting on my nerves. I'm like, what is that word? So I had to say, I guess I got to explain it, don't I?
Yeah, there you go.
It's moving. He explained it. Jared explained it, and it just hit me that the word was mushin. And I was like, he was explaining thinking on the threat, and your body's doing the movements that you've already
you've already planned
moving
that.
without thinking. Mine,
right.
No mine. And anyway. Don't know why. It's just been irritating me. I had to get that out.
That's fine. We're good.
Sorry.
Man. We're good.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me get that out there. Appreciate that. Sorry to waste your time, folks.
No, don't be sorry.
No, Trump sent out. He had a. I don't know. Now here's what we know.
Not on my watch.
Yeah. Well,
not on my watch.
Here's what we know. He was all for the red flag.
Right.
He got a lot of pushback on it. Ivanka's for the red flag. Eric Trump put out a statement saying that he's a sportsman, but we don't need all these guns. All right. So all this Trump dynasty where Ivanka's next and all this, no. Maybe Don Jr., but no. Get those other two. They done disqualified themselves. Now Trump was talking about red flags, and he banned the bump stock illegally. He put out an executive order he made a rule through the ATF that turned a piece of plastic into a machine gun. That is not possible. That is not, it's ridiculous. And the way it's worded, it can ban a lot of stuff that makes your gun shoot faster. Bad, okay? During the whole Virginia thing, not a freaking peep.
Not a word.
Not a freaking peep.
He was as helpful as the NRA was.
All these other states kicking off these red flags. What's his Department of Justice done?
Nothing.
Not a thing. Okay. Hopefully, because he's been in his rallies talking about your Second Amendment. Now, he's always said that. We're not going to let your Second Amendment be touched.
He says that when he needs to say it.
Well, what does that mean to him? That we're going to allow you to keep a firearm somewhere under 6 rounds? What does that mean? What does that mean? I mean,
he's not. I'm going to state this again. The dude is not a Second Amendment, pro Second Amendment, as what everyone thinks that he is.
He's not proactive.
He's not.
He's not pro. He's not for it. He'll do what he needs to do when he needs to do it. I mean,
but he's not stupid. Now,
he's not.
So lately, he's been talking at his rallies and he even put it in the State of the Union that your Second Amendment will be protected, not on my watch. And so hopefully, this is the hope.
Right.
It's election time. All right. Let's be honest. We don't have no choice. You heard these dingbats just running against him.
Old crazy Bernie.
Sweet God Almighty, crazy Bernie will win if they don't cheat it out of him. He's going to win. He'll win the nomination. I promise you. And Mayor Pete.
Scary.
Mayor Pete.
I want to look up and think of the Muppets every time.
Oh, I know.
Well, who else you got? You got Biden, who's insane, but he's just an old crook. All right, he's just going to get. If he got in, he's just there to steal as much money as he can.
You got Bloomberg, right?
You got Bloomberg spending $1 billion.
Bloomberg to me is the scariest one.
You got Sacagawea,
and he's not even gonna compete until they're Super Tuesday.
You know what really grinds my gears on Bloomberg is this little small town ad that he's been running. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
It's funny.
Like, you have no idea what a small town is.
Well, his money's here, so.
Well, that's funny. I'll be listening to the gun guys on Friday.
Shut up.
And then a Bloomberg commercial.
Oh man,
I don't have any say in that.
Yeah, well, he buys it.
He buys it at the national level.
Yeah, at the national level. And
yeah.
It's a capitalist country, let's be honest. All right. So you got all these clowns. You ain't got no choice. We ain't got no choice. You get out and vote for Trump as fast as you can, as many times as you can. Bring some dead people. Start voting like Democrats, man. Get you 4 or 5 Social Security cards.
Grandpa, you're alive again. It's a family reunion.
Yeah. Put on your mustache and go back and vote again. But hopefully, my hope is that he's watched Virginia and he realized, hopefully, stop listening to Ivanka. And people are serious about this. They're not. We still. They're still ongoing. Whether we got counties in Virginia that's going to go to West Virginia, and I hope they do.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
I hope that happens. That'd be sweet.
Now that's a statement.
Yes, it is.
That's a statement. That's bigger than people showing up because they don't care about that. They're still passing a lot of stuff.
They don't care.
No, I liked it, and you need it to do it. You need it to be heard, but at the same time, a little secession here and there. That's a statement. That's big. So just wanted to bring that up. Had a little story where he is speaking more on it. What that means, we don't know. But hopefully it's not just a campaign promise because it is election year, but we don't have no choice. we flat out don't have a choice.
Well, there you go. We got a good show today, boys. It's like an hour and 32 minutes.
Oh, man.
An extra long one. And guess what? Knock on wood. Facebook Live is doing good.
I'm trying to keep up with the conversation there, and I can't quite put it all together sometimes.
The PDPC XL.
Well, what
are we talking about?
No, that's what I was saying. The show is it's an extra large.
So. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So anyhow,
you're 100% correct there, Morgan.
What is this?
Yeah.
Let's leave that alone.
Okay. So thanks for listening to the podcast. If you liked it, share it with your friends. As always, share it, like it, subscribe to it. Comments, questions, you can call me. You can text me, area code 620-794-6223. You can go to the Patriot Defense. It's patriotdefense13.com. You can go, that's the website. You can hit the contact button there and get a hold of me, email me, whatever. You can read the blog. I'm updating the calendar. I think they just updated the website with a list of a bunch of new classes and stuff that I've actually put together. And so you guys got a list you can choose from now. I'm still doing private classes, of course. We will comment on the show if you liked it, if you didn't like it. I mean, we're glad to have Mark back.
We appreciate the fan mail that we get.
We love
it.
Mark gets more fan mail than anyone.
Mark's getting fan mail, man. What's up?
You're like...
I'm looking for the hate mail.
No, and if you do have topics you want us to talk about, I mean, come Come talk to me at the gun counter.
Text
call
me, email,
Todd, yeah.
call me, whatever, man. This is what I do now.
Not only that, give us some feedback. If you think we're wrong on something, state your case and why.
And we'll discuss it.
Yeah. Not only that, if you bring a legitimate point, hey, it's a legitimate point. I want to hear it.
It's all those little things popping up there.
I don't know, but
it's a virus.
That's cool. That's
it's a
cool.
damn MacBook.
Let's keep them coming. All right.
So yeah, let us know. Until then, we will. You guys can make it in next Saturday.
I don't know. Maybe
on the spot.
I'll shoot for it.
Freaking, I'll be here. Someone will be here. We'll be here next Saturday. So our likes are going up. We appreciate it. Until then,
see y'all.
See ya.
Yeah.